Good evening and welcome to our group discussion today for Process Safety Management SMPS 5103. So we have 3 members in our group. So my name is Nurul Syahiirah binti Hishamuddin.
My name is Suzhi.
And my name is Kartigasoo.
So as for today, we are going to discuss on the current legal framework related to process industry as been enforced by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, or known as DOSH. So let me do some brief introduction relating to the process industry. According to Collins Dictionary, process industry can be defined as an industry that is concerned with the processing of bulk resources into other products. And examples of process industry include food, chemicals, petroleum, rubber and also textile. So as normally these industries are in larger scale, higher technologies are involved in terms of process development and enhancement in order to fulfill with customer needs and demands. Having advanced technologies in process will cause these industries to deal with more complex systems, and this will lead to have extra precaution in order to avoid from any unwanted accidents while handling the process. So accidents happen in the process industry may become uncontrollable whenever the organizations are failed to understand, unaware of problems that might occur or operate the system unsafely. So for example, one of that causing bopple incident was happened due to failure of having proper safety management and regulations in order to encounter such problems, as this system were not widely established at that time. Therefore, it is important that we learn from previous disaster. In Malaysia, there are 2 regulations that have been governed by laws, where this will be as guidelines for all industries, especially during the process design, manufacturing, installation, handling, storage, and others in order to regulate with safety work operating conditions and requirements. So, Suzhi, can you state the objectives for our group discussion today?
Yes, of course, Nurul. Our objective for our discussion today will be mainly to explain the current enforced statutory requirements under Factories and Machinery Act FMA 1967 and Occupational Safety and Health Act OSHA 1994. The other objective for the discussion today will be to explain how the legal framework is governed the process industry in Malaysia. Kartik, what is the process industry actually?
Okay, process industry actually, there's a few process industry. So one is storing, second is handling and transfer. Okay, as defined by OSHA and Environmental Protection Agency, the process can be defined as any activities or combination of activities that involving using, storing, manufacturing, handling, on-site movement of highly hazardous chemical. For example, like manufacturing industry, oil and gas, construction, education, academic. Hi Nurul, can you explain what legal framework?
Yes, of course. So legal framework enforced by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH) with the aims to ensure safety, health, and welfare of people at work, and to protect others from the occurrence of accidents arising from occupational activities. So there are 2 main requirements that are relating to the process industry that are specified under first, Factory and Machinery Act FMA 1967 and Occupational Safety and Health Act OSHA 1994. Okay, so Kartik, can you explain more on the Factories and Machinery Act FMA 1967?
Sure, Nurul. Okay, Factory and Machinery Act FMA 1967, there's one act they call Petroleum Act. Petroleum refinery process involves separation of various compounds of very nature, crude oil. The process and its operation provide extremely hazardous situation. The most common hazard in the refineries of petroleum is fire hazard, but the other hazard present must be addressed accordingly.
So, may I have an example of the worst industrial accidents that happened previously?
Yes, Suzhi. There's one major accident happened in 2005 where killed 15 workers and injured 180 others at Texas City Refinery at 21st century.
They will be the long time ago.
Okay, thus the Petroleum Safety Measure Act 1984 to consolidate laws relating to safety in the transportation, storage, handling and utilization of petroleum.
So besides Petroleum Act, have you ever heard about the Offshore Self-Regulation Management System or SMS, Mr. Kartik?
Yes, Nurul. OSR MS in short form, they call Offshore Self-Regulation Management System, OSRMS. Offshore Self-Regulation Management System officially launched in 2013, where Malaysia government granted Petronas an exemption to Section 19 Certificate of Fitness, 36 Installation of Machinery and FMA, Notification Certificate of Fitness and Inspection Regulation 1970 condition. Okay, besides that, QSM is structure framework for self-regulation to ensure the offshore operators adhere statutory requirements in order to prevent health and safety hazards, to minimize and eliminate the risk of major incidents from happening. Okay, by the way, the system was developed based on the internationally recognized publicly available specification, asset management standard, and was in compliance with DOSH requirements, statutory requirements. Okay, Suzhi, can you explain about occupational safety and health Act OSHA 1994?
Yes, sure, Kartik. Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, OSHA. Under the OSHA regulation, there is a Control of Industrial Major Accident Hazard, CIMA Regulations 1996, which was adapted from the UK CIMA Regulation 1984 actually. So,
okay, how about the objective of CIMA regulation?
the objective is to prevent major accidents happen surrounding or to limit the consequences to people and environment.
Okay, just now you have asked about the worst accident happen worldwide. So besides the worldwide serious accident occurred, is there any major accidents that actually happen locally in Malaysia?
Yes, Nurul, actually we have a incident happened past few years ago. The incident of the Bright and Sparkles fireworks factory in Sungai Buloh, if you all remember, 1991. This happened, caused a huge fire and explosion during that time. There are quite a number of people injured. There are around over 100 people injured, 26 people were killed. Then over 200 residential properties were damaged because of the huge fire and explosion. From the report findings during that time, the incident happened is due to the negligence of statutory requirement without an authorization and license in the factory operation. Even they're doing the storing, exporting explosive materials, also they don't have any permit to do so.
Suzhi, so just now you got explained about CIMA regulation. So can you let us know who must comply with this CIMA regulation?
Yeah, actually this regulation applies to all industries activities which involve the processing, utilization, production or storage of hazardous substance in a quantity which exceeds the threshold quantity as listed in the Schedule 1 and 2.
But however, the CIMA regulation does not apply to nuclear installation under armed forces, a vehicle or vessel transporting hazardous substance to or from the site of an industrial activity, and also manufacturers undertaking industrial activities which involves a quantity of hazardous substance which is equal to or less than 10% of the threshold quantity of the hazardous substance.
So do you know, beside the CIMA regulations, they call process safety management is also taking the proactive action anticipating in managing risk. So in order to prevent exposure of employees to the serious hazard and injury, so PSM will be taking into consideration. So among the 14 elements of the process safety management, there are 12 PSM elements covered under the CIMA regulations. This including employee participation, which is obligation of manufacturer and employee. Process safety information, which is particulars of installation focusing on process chemical information under the Schedule 5.
And there is a process hazard analysis, report on industrial activity consulted by competent person, Schedule 6, training for person working on site, Schedule 6, and MOC, they call modification report, Schedule 6.
Okay, the other three last elements are actually in SEMA regulation. We have the emergency response plan, which is on-site and off-site emergency plan. We have incident investigation, which to notify major accident notification in Schedule 3. And lastly is the compliance audit for audit and penalty for any accidents happen. Okay, just now we already know the legal framework that are relating to process industries in Malaysia. So, Mr. Kartik, how the current legal framework governs the process industry in Malaysia? May I know?
Okay, so governance is the term of the organization initiative to establish an effective process safety management to prevent catastrophic accidents. Inadequate management system and human error are among the most significant contributing factors to major accidents. So there are 14 elements of PSM can be used to prevent of accident in the process industry.
And how can we assure the PSM or other methods that can be used? How to assure? Actually, Nurul, do you have any idea?
Yes, I have. So basically, how we can assure that they are following the legal framework that have governed by Malaysia. Basically, we can do a periodical inspection, audit, checking need to be performed at the workplace as to ensure that the compliances of statutory requirements. So basically, the goal of audit is to evaluate the overall compliances with rules, regulation, and also policies.
Okay, since we already discussed in details about PSM, can you, Nurul, give a recommendation to improve the safety issue in process industry?
Okay, incidents of accidents and injuries are very common in the process industry. So basically, what are the recommendation that we can propose is to have regulatory and management controls are required. Suzhi, maybe you can add some more?
Yes, the employer also has a responsibility to take various efforts and measures to create a safety and health organization. Maybe they can, through the establishment of the Safety and Health Committee, have a regular meeting, and they can have a employment of a Safety and Health Officer also. Then how about Kartik? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, sure. I think they should the establishment of process safety management as well as steps towards the proper management of safety and health on site. So, about Suzhi?
So I think this is very good for us to have all the safety precaution measure put in place. So now we come to the conclusion. A workplace that is free from the hazards can help not only employer but also us to earn a positive return and benefits on their safety and health investment, as well as to make the employees healthy and positive thinking. They will think that the organization is the best place for them to work in.
To end this discussion, we have already discussed on the current legal framework, and also we have proposed solution in order to counter the process safety issue. So I think that's all from us.
Thank you.